Who this? Ah, it's the homie. Yo, yo, yo. What's good with you, bro? What happened? How it go? Word? Well, we talked about this, so you ain't surprised, bro. I know you was hoping to be a little lower, but they increased you, huh? Well, at the end of the day, them your babies. You love them, right? Wait, hold on. Them are your babies, right? But yeah, bro, at the end of the day, this is what we talked about. I told you about my experience before, and this would come with the territory of our decision making. So just don't be bitter towards her. Bro, she ain't living in the lap of luxury. She got 2 babies by you, and she got another child. And she ain't with you or that other child's father. So she by herself with them babies most of the time. So that's gonna help her out a little bit. Just think of it as, hey, if I was there, I'd be doing everything. So, this is merciful, even though you don't like the little increase, but you good, right? Right? Yeah, that's what's up. But if you need anything, just holler. You already know I got you in prayer, bro. And your babies and her, right? All right. Yeah, just keep me. Yup. Yeah, just keep me posted. All right. Yup. God bless, bro. Dang. I already know what it is to be an Essex.
Y'all know how we do, man. HOG and MOB and the guy Hop MC in the building. Gotta deal with these issues.
All these thoughts in my head, I can't stop them. I've been running from my problems. Maybe I'm the problem.
Maybe I'm the problem.
Thought that I would lose them, somehow stop them. Still they follow, and I keep running from my problems.
Dealing with the results of my bad decisions. Fake woke and claiming the white man had did it. Living with the memory so I can't forget it. And how will I ever change if I can't admit it? Yeah, it was me chasing women, being so seductive. Lust relationships created trouble so destructive. The influence of pimps and porn is so corruptive. I took advantage, left a couple of sisters disgusted. Fornication created the baby and the child's mother. Or she get on your nerves, admit it, you were foul, brother. Maybe you had feelings but truly did not love her. When you pick up the kid, you say hi but do not hug her. Going back and forth to court over child support. $400 a month, got my paycheck feeling kinda short. Making money under the table that I do not report. You don't want them issues, then think before you put down your shorts, bruh.
All these thoughts in my head, I can't stop them. I've been running from my problems.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the problem.
Maybe I'm the problem.
Thought that I would lose them, somehow stop them. Still they follow, and I keep running from my problems.
Yeah. Cloudy days and dark nights, and you won't be saved by some dark night. Where hearts are colder than frostbite, gunshot nasty like Cartwright. First time I pulled on that 4-pound, my hand was shaking like arthright. I'm not a killer, but where I'm from, many lost their life for that off-white. When you play the game, even if you're scared, better be aware, better hold the sig. I ain't talking about no menthols, things fly around that will explode your wig. It just missed you and you know it did. Better go home and hold your kid, kiss him on his head before he goes to bed. Try to spend some time before you go to bed. Cause you either headed for prison or closed casket listen. You plan crimes and commit them. You also end up a victim. When you sipping on that red rum, you get drunk chasing that income. Those sins you'll never forget them. You knew you were wrong when you did them. Rinse and repeat. That's the cycle we live in these streets. Our sin is a feast. You're so being chewed by the teeth of the beast. Too many deceased. It will only get worse as the evil increase. We want it to cease, but if we don't repent, ain't no living in peace. Rinse and repeat. That's the cycle we live in these streets. Our sin is a feast. You're so being chewed by the teeth of the beast. Too many deceased. It will only get worse as the evil increase. We want it to cease, but if we don't repent, ain't no living in peace.
Yo. What's good? What's good? God bless y'all, man. What's cracking? Beautiful Sunday evening to you all. We're back up in here once again. The Bible Dojo is live. I know I ain't been on since 2 weeks ago, but last week I was on another platform last Sunday. I did invite you all. So for those of you who may have come out and you got to check out that conversation between myself and the homie Rob Reed over there on my sister Christina's channel, Let's Talk Podcast on YouTube. Hey, go subscribe. She got a good channel. I think they might still be live now on her channel, about to end over there. But yeah, I was on her channel last week for a discussion, red pill versus blue pill, talking about, the passport bros and some of the stuff that, some of the stuff that they think towards, not just toward any woman, but specifically black sisters here in America. And basically like, ain't no hope for the black man because he can't find a good black woman. And, so we had a discussion about that and it was pretty good. So go check it out. But now, I's back, boss. So, hey, y'all, welcome back to the Bible Dojo. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. My YouTube family, my Facebook family, any of the Clubhouse family tuning in. Salute, God bless y'all. I'm hoping at YouTube and Facebook, I'm hoping that y'all digging where I've gone on the Friday nights, dedicating the Friday nights, at least for now, to bringing you the Bible Dojo basically live from Clubhouse with the Friday night Frankincense House, over there on the Clubhouse platform, hosting that for the past month with my homie Josh from ABT, and it's getting some steam, it's growing, and I'm loving it. And so I'm hoping that if you weren't here to be able to check it out live, that you could go back and watch it. It's called Friday Night Frankincense, and this is where it's streamable. Hey, and salute to any of you who might tune in through the Clubhouse. If y'all know about that Frankincense room over there, and y'all wondering how can I hear a replay, you got to go to my YouTube channel. So if you want to know how to get to my YouTube channel, just touch my PTR and in my bio, you'll find that link. So welcome to the Bible Dojo. It's your brother, Zadok Ben Israel, a.k.a. the God Hop MC, hashtag just a vessel, nobody special, a.k.a. Young Chimney, because I'm built for the smoke, you heard? So we are back and the dojo is open. Come on in. Take your shoes off, look down, check your sock game, make sure you're on point, and start your warm-up katas because it's definitely about to get biblical tonight. And you know what? It's even going to get a little extra biblical tonight. And so to help me in this odyssey, I got my bro. He going to help me out a little bit over here. My bro, Steven. What's good, brother Steven? Salute.
Shalom, shalom, bro. How you doing?
Pretty good. What's up with you, bro?
Man, just finishing up a snack on the on the Sunday night.
Right quick.
I got a hoagie, half of a hoagie left.
Half a hoagie left. Okay. So the hoagie was the snack, bro. Man, okay, that's what's up.
I had 2 hoagies, and that was a snack.
Goodness, that's what's up. Hey, bless you in the household, bro. So, hey, man, I appreciate you being here tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. And as we go, I'm gonna ask you guys to share this out on all the platforms, whatever platform you're on and listening to. Please share it out. Follow me, subscribe, submit a friend request. All of the applicable things that mean tap in and stay tapped in. And last but not least, if you are feeling the message tonight, I want to ask you to consider supporting the ministry financially. If I don't ask, no one else will ask for me. The various things I'm doing with the brotherhood, with the brotherhood and sisterhood, and even myself, and it always is helpful. And I appreciate, and those of y'all last week who looked out, bless y'all. Y'all know who y'all are, man. When y'all be sending stuff, it'd be difficult. It's kind of, you can't really always send people messages back through those giving platforms that we use, like the Cash Apps and the PayPals. You can only do like a heart or something like that. And I'll be wanting to say thank you directly to people. So I just appreciate those of you who have done that. You know who you are. Thank you so much. So with that being the case, if you decide to do that tonight, just look at the ticker on the bottom of the screen. For the Clubhouse fam, just check my bio. And if you feel so led, the pertinent info is there as well. So, Steven, you see that title, bro? You see that young title?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to figure it out.
Now, to be fair, there's some pretty good teachings out here on what constitutes marriage biblically and things like that. As a matter of fact, my bro Josh from ABT probably a couple of months ago did a very good presentation on his Sabbath class over there on Clubhouse. He did a really good job, but I haven't had my full say yet. And people been asking me like, yo, Zadok, you got a teaching on marriage. And it's interesting because I have some teachings on polygyny and all of that stuff. And I got some old ones back when I was a teacher at the Yeshua Knesset with my brother Judah and Tim over there, the two lead teachers of that organization. And I was the third teacher when I was there. And we did a 2-part series on polygamy and our opinions on it biblically, historically, and all of this stuff. And so I really didn't consider that I don't have a presentation on marriage. But because it's a big thing now amongst some, and I'm being careful to say some, because not all Israelites believe exactly the same on this, but some do believe that when you sleep with a woman, she's your wife. Ah, goodness. Okay. Let's say this. I remember there being a brother who wanted to come and visit our congregation. This was over a decade ago. And he wanted to come visit the congregation. And then after he came and visited from another state, he saw what he liked. And so he talked to us about his interest in relocating to our city to get closer to our ministry. And we like, yo, that's what's up, bro. So we talking it out. And so we asked him about his wife. Now, this brother was from the South, and this brother told us, you know, because of whatever persuasion of doctrine he had been dealing with at the time before he found out about us, he was like, yeah, man, no, you know, this is my wife, but, you know, like, yeah, we not, you know, he didn't feel that he needed to give her a ring and a marriage certificate. Well, brother, you come into New York State, and we don't get to dictate what's going to happen in life. Something go down between you and that woman here in New York State with us, and you don't brought her from the deep South, and you abandon her or something, or she abandoned you. Hey, bro, we don't rock like that, man. You need to get that woman a ring at least, bro. Get a marriage certificate. And so he was like, well, I don't believe that we need the white man in our business and all of this kind of stuff. And I was like, damn, like, where does this come from? Why are you making it about the white man? Why aren't you making it about the woman and her family and you and your family and your friends and near of kin? Why are you because you live in a state? I asked him, you got a driver's license, Negro? He said, yeah. I said, you got a birth certificate? He said, yeah. I said, you got a social security card? He said, yeah. I said, hey, do you actually have a bank account? He said, yeah. I said, do you have a job? He said, yeah. I said, do you get income taxes and sign W-2s or 1099Ks, or if you're an entrepreneur, anything like that? He said, yeah. I said, well, the white man all in your damn business. I'm going to tell you this. If you want to relocate here, you're going to have to get a marriage certificate, and you're going to have to get that woman a ring. He was like, well, this, that, and the third. Our people, when we were bro, Negro, you running around using the curses to tell people they Israelites. The curses put you in the non-sovereign, no longer sovereign people category anymore. You're among the nations, and they will have rule over you. Did you read Nehemiah 9? Nehemiah said to the Lord in his prayer, even when they had gotten back to the land, he said, Most High, even at this day, you have given these people dominion over us, and they have authority over us, our cattle, and our very bodies. See, he was a realistic Israelite because he understood that Israel, even being allowed to leave Babylon and come home and rebuild Jerusalem, was a great honor because Israel hadn't gotten righteous in order to come back to Jerusalem. That was just the time frame that the Most High had set by the word of the prophet Jeremiah. So Nehemiah was not under any fake illusion. Whatever their awakening, quote unquote, was like,
You know what he admitted? Most High, you've given these people authority and rulership over us, and they have control over our very bodies and even the bodies of our animals. This is why the apostles told you, submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for God's sake. Anything that's not telling you to be unrighteous, do it. Give honor to the king and give honor to the governor as supreme. So miss me with that. Whoever those guys are, and y'all want to get into not, you know, whenever y'all, you know, y'all listen to who y'all want to when you want to try to skate around something. Now you want to go and listen to the Black Moors talk about sovereign citizenship and all of this stuff. Hey, look, bro, I'm telling you all right now, you don't even have to deal with America or Europe or wherever you live as far as showing biblically how the Most High looks at marriage, what constitutes a marriage, and what is required of a man to have a wife, and what is required of a woman in order to have a husband. Did they just do it willy-nilly? Was there some kind of order to it? Now, I'll say this. I think most, you know, the Christian church, you know, they don't even really have these discussions about this kind of stuff because this is silly. But in the so-called Messianic Israelite or even some, you know, Torah-only guys, this conversation comes up and can be argued over. We know that sex is a part of marriage, right? So, yes, it's better to say sex is a part of marriage. But to say sex is marriage, that's a damn lie. It is? No, sex is just a part of marriage. What if, you know, you have a spouse and all of a sudden they have some unfortunate situation, you know, physically where they can't be sexually active with you anymore? You're going to abandon them? Is your marriage over because you can't have sex with them no more? Was Abraham and Sarah's marriage over because they hadn't been sexual in a really long time? Even when she was told at 90 years old that she was going to have a baby, she laughed and said, well, I have pleasure in my Lord also. Like, we going to get it in seeing we old. So guess what? While at a time sex was a part of their marriage, of course, there comes a time where sex won't be part of the marriage if you live long enough and are together long enough. And then what? Are you still in a marriage? So while sex is a part of marriage, brethren, come on. We know this. Sex is not marriage. But I want to say what's up to a few people. Hey, salute to y'all. See, we got a few of yous on here. Ken Chong Jr. was good. Shannon Harp, hello, hello. Christina Carlton, how are you doing, lady? The homie Thomas in the building, salute. Queen Felicia, hello. Ah, Mother Jackie, hello there, ma'am. It's been a minute. Hope all is well with you and yours. Teresa 71, salute. Eddie Kane-tastic Jr. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. What's good with you, Brody? Too blessed for defeat. Shalom, shalom. Handro, the ghost. What's good with you? Torres, what's going on with you? Sister Tierra, hello. Ah, look at Mama Stephanie over there. What's up, Mama Stephanie? How are you, Queen? Alberto Gonzalez. What's good? What's good? Hey, but Zadok, how do you reconcile something like a relationship commitment not done or started the right way, but there's still a chance to fix it for those going through it? I'm not sure. How do you reconcile something like a relationship commitment not done or started in the right way? Oh, well, you know what? There might be one place and when you say, remember, tonight is about marriage, not just relationships, because you got people in relationships who aren't married, and you got people who getting a young silk on. Let me lick you up and down till you say stop. It's a lot of that going on, and ain't nobody trying to commit to no marriage. You got a lot of nasty women and nasty men like I used to be who want to get it in physically, but ain't really interested in commitment. Hey, Stephen, you know that text, I think it's in Timothy, where it talk about, is it Timothy where it says in the last days men shall be lovers of themselves? Is that in Timothy? I think that's in the book of Timothy.
Is it in Timothy?
Is it in Timothy?
I know that verse though.
The reason I'm asking, bro, is because in that thing where it says in the last days, basically letting you know mankind is going to kind of wax a little worse. And one of the things, two of the things, should I say, that was mentioned,
Timothy,
that can
chapter 3.
Right. Yo, let's actually start there, bro, because now this just came to my mind since my bro had a question. Let's actually start there. Where did you say that was?
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 and 2.
Okay. Deshaun, hello. Major, what's good? Let me look over here. Oh, Mama Stephanie is double dipping. She on 2 platforms. We got you, Flair, Kenny, Maki, Mikhael, Yehuda, Mike S, Ariella, White Jesus. Welcome you guys over there on the Clubhouse, the Bible Dojo. Please share the room out. It's about 10 of you over there, so I should have at least 5 or 6 shares. Come on, y'all, share that out. It ain't cost you nothing but to do it. And look at my guy's skill. Catholic Shabbat Shalom. Yo, son. Oh, goodness. That threw me off. Catholic Shabbat Shalom. Yo,
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Huh?
I said, I don't even know how you respond to that.
Yo, son, wow.
Shalom.
That man said Catholic Shabbat Shalom because it's Sunday. Yo, you is funny. Damn, that's a good one. I'm taking that arrow and putting it right in my quiver. From now on Sunday nights, I'm going to say Catholic Shabbat Shalom. That is funny. Hey, peace, truth seeker, welcome. So let's actually start there, bro. So what was that again? You said that was 1 Timothy 3?
2 Timothy chapter 3.
2 Timothy 3. Hey, bro, could you start reading there for me when you got it? We're going to start in 2 Timothy chapter 3, yep. Brethren. I'll be sharing the screen. You got it.
Yep. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort, you want me to keep going? You muted.
I started talking, but I'm muted. So, hey, brethren, look here. If you pay attention, the apostle was letting Timothy know, hey, things are going to get pretty bad. And you're going to have those who are disobedient, covetous, lovers of self, without natural affection, meaning people who don't have no real love. Those who really have a disdain for people who do good. Incontinent mean people who can't control themselves, traitors, high-minded, arrogant people. But some of these people will still claim to be godly. You could still find some decent traits in them, but this is the fly in the ointment. This is the leaven that is causing the whole lump to rise. Now, I want to add another text to this because I wanted to show you how society goes down in the last days. And in the book of Romans 1, which I believe is happening now, as it has happened in other generations, where once people are given over to a reprobate mind, because all I seen in what Paul was telling Timothy is the reprobate mind. But in his letter to the Romans, he gave more detail. He's going to name some of the same things that he said to Timothy, but it's going to be a much more substantive list. So let's start in the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 28.
And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. All of these things make sense to us. The covetous, the full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, all of these things, haters of God, despiteful, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers. All of this divorce that's happening for very minor things, people just get tired of each other and getting divorces. Yo, the Most High is not feeling that. That's not the only kind of covenant to break, but since tonight is about the damn marriage covenant, I'm letting you know that part of the reprobate mind that God is going to allow to permeate society. That's one of the signs. So when I was in that red pill versus blue pill discussion last week, the guy brought out an American stat. 50% of divorces in the United States end, and I mean 50% of marriages end in divorce, and they say that 80% of those divorces are filed by women. And I ain't got no problem with it because probably 50% of those women filing are justified, while another 50% might leave a man because he broke, they fell out of love, stuff like that. But don't let that 80% be a number that represent out of those 80% of the marriages are divorce filings are done by women. Well, out of that, out of 100% of those women, how many of those women, if they was your damn daughter or sister, you would want divorce from the fool who they filing for divorce for? Let's say half. Let's say half those women, you would be like, yeah, I would have got out of there too. Versus another half that you think is just abandoning a man or something. So, all of this covenant breaking, God don't like that. That's a sign of reprobate. And the reason I went to the first text is because when he was telling Timothy about the last days and things that are coming, you're going to even see in so-called church culture people who have a form of godliness, but not really walking in the power of the love of God. They're not really walking in the love of Christ. And even in so-called church culture, you got people who getting divorces for irreconcilable differences. Now, I would tell, I've counseled couples on, look, if y'all can't get along, it's probably better for y'all to separate legally. You do know as a legal couple, you can go and file for a legal separation where you're not getting a divorce, but there's certain rights the male and the female can tap into while you go for a legal separation. Like Paul even told the woman, sisters, don't leave your husbands, but if you feel you got to leave, that's your right. But if you leave, don't get into another relationship. Stay by yourself or else try to work it out and get back with your husband. Listen, there's another word in here. So we know about covenant breakers. Hey, could you continue to read, good brother?
Okay. All right. Without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
So covenant breakers are supposed to understand that, you could get really crushed by the Most High for being a covenant breaker. But check this out. There's another word, implacable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, brethren, know what implacable means? The Greek word aspandos. So not only is God displeased with people who break covenants,
Shaq.
but look at what implacable means. Without a treaty or covenant, a person who cannot be persuaded to enter into a covenant. How many of you knew that in that verse, Paul was saying, yo, part of the reprobate spirit in the world is not only do you see the people breaking their covenants, you got people who refuse to enter into covenants. Now, the reason why that's dangerous on the marriage side of things is because you got a lot of people who get in a young sexual healing on, but they do not want to be married. You got too many sisters who continue to destroy them damn selves by allowing a man to hurt them by giving it up. Sister, if a man wants you, you with him set a time frame for him to prove to you who he is, and you don't let a man touch the young noogie without the roogie. You know, no roogie, no noogie. What that means is, sisters, you can't put birth control on your heart. You can't put a prophylactic on your heart. And many of you sisters have been dogged by men, but in your own lust, you contributed, because it's one thing for a man to be foul when you find out, but he ain't never been able to touch you. So even though you may have really dug him and it hurt that you found out he wasn't who he said he was, and you walk away from that scenario, you walk away without the guilt of fornication. Brothers, the same thing. Some of you brothers have been done crazy dirty by women, and you contributed to it with your Hulk smash tactics.
Exactly.
There is a lot of children being born to men and women who will not enter into a covenant. And then, because it's sad for the children who are born to parents who are in a covenant, and then the mother or the father destroy the family. And now the children, there's a lot of children who unfortunately experience divorce. But you know how many more children never seen their parents together in their whole life? That kid grow up, and by the time that boy or that sister start to have a memory, you know, when them kids be, you know, right roughly around that 3 to 5 year old range is probably where most of our earliest memories are. Like my biological son. Do y'all know my son never seen me and his mother in a relationship? And my son, by God's grace, just turned 28 a week ago. He never saw me and his mom in a relationship. And he had it difficult, damn it, growing up. Being pulled between wanting to spend time with his dad, then when he with me for a while, he missed his mom. And now, you know, when he with his mom after a while, he ain't seen me in a while, he missed me because I live up in New York State and his mama live in the state of Georgia. That's my fault. That's her fault. And he grew up with difficulties behind that. It would have been a little easier for him if he would have actually grown up, and by the time he had memory, his mom and I are husband and wife. That would have been easier for him. Now, how many of you grew up like that? Or how many of y'all listening tonight, children are growing up like that right now because a man, or you the mother possibly, or a woman, or you the dad possibly, did not want to enter into a covenant. It's too many of our sisters who really, yes, they can take care of themselves to a degree. And after a while, they get lonely and they do want a man. But some of these sisters done been so hurt that it's hard for them to really trust a man. And so it could take long for them to really get into a relationship where they feel comfortable. It got to be hard to go on dates and to get to know a man, and you like your damn whole demeanor and your mind is like Colossus from the Marvel comic universe. You don't want to let this man close. There's too much hurt that you've been through, but you do like the guy. But you've also been with a man for a while and he put up a front for a good minute. So since you've been through that, you'll give another man a chance, but you're not necessarily looking to enter into a covenant. And you know what? That's okay. But if you're going to be a fornicator, then that's not okay. See, it's okay, sis. It's okay, bro. If you're not going to fornicate, if you can keep yourself from sinning before God. So how is sex marriage, but fornication can exist? And there's a lot of fornication that happen between single men and single women who don't belong to another person. So let's look. Bro, let's start this off in the book of Hebrews 13. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Bible Dojo. You are in the building with your bro, Ben Ketor. Got Stephen the Deacon with me tonight. Come on in, take your shoes off and join us because you already smell the sweat and you heard the noise. You heard people practicing as you walked up and opened them doors already. You heard. So, hey, bro, let's go to the book of Hebrews chapter 13. And when we get here, this very famous verse, verse 4.
Hebrews 13 and 4. Okay. All right.
Uh-huh.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
Now, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. Yes, there's a bed in marriage. Oh, don't I know? I love the marriage bed. But the bed is defiled if there's not a marriage. So you can sex someone and it's defiled before God. You could be a whoremonger. Brethren, adulterers, God will judge. Whoremongers too. Let's look at this word here in the Greek, because most people feel they know what an adulterer is, but the word pornos, a whoremonger, like killmonger, whoremonger.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. A man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire, a male prostitute, a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse. The female they call a whore, and the male is called whoremonger, meaning the women are whores because whoremongers whore them. Ladies, stay away from the mongers. So a male prostitute. So this could be one who actually sells his body, but then another one who is just promiscuous in sexual intercourse. I'm telling you, men who sleep around and drop children off with women and aren't in marriage covenants are whoremongers. And those women who are producing those children are whores. Zadok was a whoremonger. That's just it. It's not my judgment. Do y'all understand that I repented of whoremongering? That boy Killmonger in Black Panther, they call that man Killmonger because all he do is kill. All of them webs on his body were for every man he killed. Man, oh man, what my damn body would look like if I was known as whoremonger. How many webs would be on your face, bro? Sis, if you had to get a scar for every time you had sexual intercourse outside the confine of a marriage covenant with a man, sister, or with a woman, brother. This can be hard, but the truth is hard because it's meant to prick us unto salvation. This is for how we want to raise our sons and our daughters, how we want to advise our nieces and nephews, how we want to talk to our siblings. How many of you have a sibling your age? Because I know I'm not listening. It ain't too many teenagers that's tuning in tonight on purpose. I hope some are. But most of you are in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, probably some even older. How many of you shake your head at the sibling or the cousin who's in your age bracket and you see them keep going from relationship to relationship? If there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, then why would you shake your head? Let's look at the book, bro. What I want to do is I want to go over to the book of Genesis. Let's start in the beginning. Before Israel was a nation, right? There was still a certain way that in the ancient Near East period, they dealt with marriage. So let's look at the family of Israel. Genesis 34. And when we get here, brother, let's start at verse 1. Genesis 34 and 1.
And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel.
Now, brethren, some people believe Dinah was raped. I don't believe Dinah was raped.
Nope.
I believe it says what it says. That man seduced her, y'all. When it says he took her and lay with her, some people said, what did it mean by he took her? I said, bro, what do it mean in other places where you see a marriage that's lawful and it says, and the man took his wife and laid with her? He took. Don't use the word took and try to take that word and make it mean rape. Now, look at this. The man slept with her, and after the act, he had real feelings for her, and he spake kindly to her. So we see sex has happened, right, brother?
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue. Verse 4.
And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife.
Hold on. According to some people's doctrine, it's already his damn wife. Why you just slept with her? Ain't she your wife?
Nope.
What you telling your daddy? Hey, dad, I need you to get this woman to be my wife. You all see right there. I could end the lesson here. Now, some people want to get smart. Well, what about the law? Oh, we're going to go to the law. I'm just showing you how Jacob and them moved and how the others around them moved. This man knows he hasn't wifed this woman. He slept with her. He's a prince. Who knows how many women this guy has been with already? He's a whoremonger. And Dinah has played the whore. And we know she did because of what Levi and Simeon gonna say on how the man dealt with their sister. You will never see rape come up in this discussion here in the text. Now, if you read some extra biblical sources, some theologians think it could have been rape, and some are like Zadok, and they like, nah, nothing there indicates rape. We're gonna look at something that's clear. You're gonna see the difference between the two. So he said, Dad, I want this woman to be my wife. Okay, verse 5.
And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come home.
Wait, hold on. Why he got to hold his peace? A man hold his peace, meaning, you know what? I ain't going to say nothing. When you hold your peace, that means if you don't hold your peace, you can let your anger go. Jacob, yo, bro, wait, hold on. When you read that there, it said Jacob heard that he had married Dinah, his daughter.
No, he spoiled her. He defiled her.
He defiled her. We just read that marriage is honorable in the sight of Yah, and the bed undefiled. This is not marriage, people, yet sex has happened. So go ahead, verse 6.
And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done.
Wait, hold on. To this family, this Negro done violated. It never said he raped her. He defiled her, y'all. He slept with her. They pissed. But let's see. Go ahead, verse 8.
And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you, give him her to wife, or give her him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you.
Hold on. I pray you give her him to wife. So Dinah is not a wife because she had consensual intercourse with a man. And they say, yo, let's make marriages. Y'all know what that means? We're going to come into agreements, covenants. And I know most of you know the story. So check this out. Verse 11. Now, bro gonna come speak for himself to Jacob and her brothers. Go ahead. Verse 11.
And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Okay, hold on one sec. What ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife.
It's clear this ain't his damn wife, and it's clear he wanted to enter into a marriage agreement by permission of the fathers and of the father and the brothers, but he went about it the wrong way, and they are hot. And he said, however much you want me to pay, and whatever gifts you want, I'll give you according to whatever you say. And then all the brothers, now, Jake, the brothers was like, you know what? Get circumcised, and that'll be good enough. And we all know the setup. So Jacob was hot, right? And after they did what they did, and they killed all of these men because their sister was treated foul in their sight, Jacob said, man, what have y'all done? Y'all about to cause problems for me and my whole family here in this place. What did they say? Verse 31. Listen to what Levi and Simeon said to their dad.
Verse 31. He said, and they said, should he deal with our sister as with a harlot?
Hey, brother, let me ask you this. How do men deal with harlots? Whores.
You said, what do men do with harlots? How do
men deal with harlots?
They get what they want out of them and throw them back.
Right. Now, can you rape a harlot?
Yeah.
Okay. So dealing with Dinah like a harlot doesn't mean she was raped. It meant that she was fornicated with.
Mm-hmm.
She was slept with outside the contract of marriage. The brothers let you know. They could have clearly said, this nigga raped our sister. That's not what was said. They said they did it because that man treated their sister like a whore. And if you look up the word in Hebrew, it is anah. And that word means to look down upon. Men don't care for whores. Whether it's a woman you pay for money, your feelings not involved with her. You ain't trying to take care of her the rest of your life and this, that, and the third. And if it's a woman you not paying money for sexual favors, but it's a woman who will just let you be sexual with her. Most men don't care for them either. That's why they lie to them so much. They lie so they can whore with the woman and be a man whore. And then when they get tired of it, they dip. Now, if this man would not have fallen in love with her, you know what more than likely wouldn't have happened? He would have never said, Dad, get me this woman for a wife. That happened because he got feelings for her after the sex. But if his heart wouldn't have got them feelings, ain't no guarantee he would have ever asked. So Dinah would have just fornicated. That's all. We shouldn't be surprised by this. Y'all know we all done been through this part of our life. Many of us. And for those of you who haven't, I praise Yah for you, because you give me hope that there are children who can make it to adulthood as grown men and women and possibly keep themselves. I admire that. Praise the Most High. Last year, this past summer in 2022, I got to attend the wedding of a sister who I had the pleasure of helping to disciple, and a young brother that I had the pleasure of discipling. And I know that the brother admittedly had never been sexually active. And the woman, while she wasn't a virgin per se, she still hadn't been with a whole bunch of men in her life. I was very proud to meet this brother, young black man who had relocated to our area many years ago. Brother, 26 years old, and still hadn't been with a woman sexually yet. That's a very, very honorable thing. And I've met a couple sisters like that. I give great honor to them in this modern societal narrative where many of us were ridiculed as kids for not being sexually active. How many of you remember lying about being sexually active just because other kids put it in your face like you ain't did this yet? You 13 up here talking about, man, yeah, man, I done did it. I did it. Lying your little butt off talking about you been with a girl sexually. Why is that happening? Y'all know that happened to me. And then once I became a fornicator, by the time I was 14, 15, and I'm fornicating regularly, I joined a group who made fun of another guy who came around, and we found out he hadn't been with a girl sexually yet. We made fun of him. Y'all telling me that ain't wicked as hell? So when I'm sleeping with when Zadok was sleeping with girls in 9th and 10th and 11th grade, y'all telling me them was my wives? Them sisters who at that same time was dealing with various young men in the school, those were all of her husbands? No, y'all. Let your 12, 13-year-old daughter, God forbid, go out here and get sexually active, and she telling you this 16-year-old her husband. You gonna kill her and him. Come on, y'all. Dinah was not Shechem's wife. She did play the whore. He played the whore, but then he developed feelings for her and really wanted to be with her and try to make it right. So he went and said, yo, I got to make her my wife. Let's go to another text. Let's go to Exodus chapter 22. Now, Handro, you asked a question. So this is one of the only texts in the scripture that kind of addresses what I believe you were asking. Let's go to Exodus 22, good brother. And when you get there, we're going to start, you know where, verse 16.
Okay. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Yo, now look at this. This is what happened with the Prince of Hamor and Dinah. Dinah was not engaged. That's what betrothal is. She wasn't promised to be another man's wife. And he enticed her. Y'all, she went out with the girls of the land. That's why a lot of you fathers and mothers, because of the societal narrative you live in, a lot of y'all scared. How many of you was scared? when y'all teenage daughters first come ask y'all, can they go to some party with some girls? Y'all know how many of us scared our damn mamas and daddies 15, 16, 17 talking about, I want to go to this party? How many of y'all lied talking about you just spending the night at such and such house, and you lied and tricked your parents so you could go to some party? You know why the parents be fearful? Because the parents know that young folk can be out here fornicating. I believe Jacob was a man of standing. The brothers were men of standing. So how did Dinah wind up having sex? Dinah was not raped. How did Dinah wind up getting sex? Because she went out with the girls of the land. She was hanging out with girls who were not of the culture of the family she come from. And when that prince, who might casually lay with another girl from among his people because he's a man of high status, y'all know how it go. He had his eye on Dinah. And after they were sexually together, he fell in love with her. He really developed feelings. And then, even though we don't have this codified in the scripture at the time, the way that the brothers felt, they felt that, no, you don't touch our sister like she's a whore. She ain't just some woman you take and be sexual with. And they wind up killing that man and his people because of it. And Jacob wasn't feeling it. And for anybody who think I'm on Levi and Simeon's side, I'm not. I'm on Jacob's side. Y'all want to know how much Jacob didn't feel what they did? Now, we know he didn't feel dude being sexual with his daughter without permission. When Jacob died in Genesis, 48? He called all his sons to his bedside and he blessed them. Y'all remember what he said to Simeon and Levi? He told Simeon and Levi, man, y'all gonna have to be kept in check, basically, because the instruments of cruelty were in your hands, and that evil you did to the men of Hamor. When Jacob was dying, he brought back up what Simeon and Levi did. So some of y'all can pump your fist for them Negroes all you want. They father didn't. They put the family in danger. And even in the law, a man didn't get put to death because he had sexual encounter with a woman without her daddy permission. Let's look at what the law say. So fornication has happened here. Now that that has happened, this man shall surely endow her, meaning he shall convince her to be his wife. And in some translations, it say he shall hasten to make her his wife. You know what hasten means. That might be quick about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead and read verse 17.
If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
Okay. Hold on. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. He don't get her after that. It just means her virginity gone. So he still is on tap for the dowry, because that's something that would have been paid by a man she was promised to by the right of the father. The father can refuse, just like Jacob had the right to refuse Shechem, his daughter. Talmud said they shouldn't have killed him, but they should have put hands on him. Hey, bro. I ain't about to have a deep conversation about that. I'll say this. I say, yeah, but make it a fair fight. They trick dudes, and while dudes is basically trying to heal with their private members cut, they had an advantage. I wonder how that smoke would have went if they wouldn't have tricked them boys. Hey, let's fight it out. Some of Jacob's sons may have probably caught a couple to the face as they were punching dudes in the face. So I feel you, laying hands. Remember, they're strangers. They don't have no right in that land. They don't enact law in a stranger's land. But if they felt like they wanted smoke, cool, let's get it in. Shechem probably would have whooped a couple of the boys in Israel.
Hey, bro.
After they duff him out. Before they duff him out and overpower him. He's a prince. He got men with him. So remember, those men were in a weakened state, and they went in there and killed them. They didn't go in there and fight, and this, that, and the third. They went in there, they tricked them boys to make them weak, and then did what they did. You know what I'm saying? But you want to say something there, Stephen?
No, I was gonna say no doubt. Just if you kind of look at it in in a in a way that makes common sense, the way that the Bible reads that Jacob ended up hearing about it, no doubt they probably didn't do it just once. They probably was running around with each other, and Jacob started hearing some noise about his daughter running around with this
Probably.
guy, and that could have infuriated, the brothers more, because they started hearing
Yeah.
rumors about their sister running around with this prince, and they having sex and all that stuff, and you know what I mean. That would make sense to me.
Hey, you know what? That's as fair as anything. The scripture is ambiguous on the details. That some of the Israelites do have traditions out there that are interesting. Some people, like I said, some historians consider, well, maybe he raped her, and then it's others who like, no, there's nothing in the text to give us any explicitity of rape. But we see in the law that if a man took a woman who is not married or promised in marriage, and they be sexually active, the right thing to do is to not do that. But there is a mercy in the law that if that act do happen, bro, go approach her father and them and try to make this woman your wife. So Hondro, yes, if people have fornicated before God, he don't want you to remain a fornicator. He wants you to come into the bond of a covenant. That's why the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 7, hey, to avoid fornication is get married. It is better to marry than to burn. He said, now I think it's better if y'all don't marry. Be like me. But hey, if you marry, you have not sinned. It's better to marry than to burn. He said, but I say to those who will be married, you will have trouble in the flesh. Yeah, because, man, y'all, me and my wife been together for 25 years. A lot of y'all sisters watching tonight, y'all might think I'm a cool guy. I am. But I can also be damn irritating. Ask my wife. So when you really think about it, for anyone to say sex is marriage, that's clickbait. They want to draw you to a room or to their YouTube so that they can probably break it down. That might be the title. And then when you listen to their teaching, they're not really telling you sex is marriage. They're just really telling you sex is a main part of marriage. Yes, it is. I understand that. But sex itself ain't no damn marriage in the Bible. Now look at this. Brother, let's go to 2 Samuel 13 and show you a story where it's clear. When you hear this story, you ain't gonna think it's anything like Dinah and Shechem, the prince of Hamor. Let's go to 2 Samuel 13. Hey, welcome to the Bible Dojo. If you just joining us, it's your brother Zadok Ben Israel over here in the building, getting it in. Got my bro Stephen the Deacon with me tonight. So, bro, 2 Samuel 13. And let's start at verse 1.
All right, one sec. All right, verse 1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. Jonadab he see that Amnon is. What's that?
What'd you say, bro? I'm sorry. Somebody was calling.
No. I said, that's good. I don't want to read through all of it. I just wanted to make this point. David has children by different women. Tamar is Absalom's sister. They got the same mother. Amnon is part sister, part brother to her, but they don't have the same mom. And she's a beautiful young lady, and this dude is just obsessed with her. It says he loved her. He is obsessed with his half sister. But we know, according to Leviticus chapter 18, you are not to uncover the nakedness of your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, whether she was born somewhere else or even if she's close by. But this situation is setting up. He wearing it on his face. So his friend, little sneaky dude, like, yo, what's wrong with you, man? Tell me what's up, bro. Oh, man, man, I love my sister, man. I just want to spend time with her. So he come up with a plan. Yo, fake like you sick and all of this. And your dad gonna want to come and see what's wrong with you if he hear you sick. And once he see you sick, tell dad, hey, dad, send my sister to help take care of me. So he go through with his homie's plan. Now, remember, y'all, it said, and even though he loved her, he thought in his mind that I know I can't be with her, though. And I wouldn't do nothing to her wrong anyway. He just loved her, though. And this can be weird, but I'm going to be honest. Yo, son, when I was 14, I had some female cousins that came to the family reunion every year from down south. Them down south girls know they some beauties, boy. They come talking and they got them accents, and we all up here up north, you know what I'm saying? Sound like we from the Italian mafia. You know, New York. It's like, yo, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We talk like we from the damn Italian mafia movie or something up here. But them sisters from down there, they come with them accents too. How y'all doing? We like, oh, snap. I don't see them all the time.
Don't be busting a union at the family reunion.
Bro, you 14 and you got these girl cousins from different places in the South, and they come up north for a week for the family reunion, and they beautiful. And you liking your uncle's daughters. So just imagine this kind of scenario, which is an even closer female relative. This is your brother, sister. But
that's your sister.
She technically, you don't feel like she your sister because y'all ain't got the same mama. That's my daddy daughter. Y'all know why laws are written? Laws aren't written most of the time just in case. Laws are usually written because of a problem that exists. And where the children of Israel came from in Egypt and where they're going in Canaan, sometimes people practice incest that close. They sleeping with their full sisters and half sisters. Cats sleeping with their aunts. Women sleeping with their uncles, all kind of stuff. And in the law, they like, nah, don't do that. And so this right here is about to get very foul. Now, so Amnon laid down and act sick, and he tell his dad sent my sister and all of this, that, and the third. Let's start at verse 7.
Amnon nasty, man. I don't care what nobody says.
Amnon was a bastard, bro. Yo, when Absalom killed him, I understood it to the fullest. And he played coy too. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing.
He a prince. Bro. He a prince in the kingdom, man. He couldn't find no other women.
Yeah, bro. This tells you how evil lust can be. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
What verse again?
Verse 7.
Okay, verse 7. Then David sent home Tamar, saying, "Go now to thy brother Amnon's house and dress him meat." So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it and made cakes in his sight and did bake cakes. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat and Amnon said, "Have out all men from me." And they went out every man from him. And Amnon said unto Tamar, "Bring the meat into my chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber of Amnon, her brother. And when she had brought them in unto him to eat, he took hold of her, and said unto her, come lie with me, my sister. And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not this folly. And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. Howbeit, he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, he forced her and lay with her.
Hold on. This ain't nothing like Dinah's story. We don't get no detail where we think, I can't say what we think. I'm not convinced he raped her. It's
Right.
clear that this man raped her. This is clear. There ain't no question, no ambiguity whatsoever. But look at how she understood this was foul. But it was so bad, she said, look, this shouldn't be done at all. Don't force me to have sex with you. And she said, yo, speak to our father. He won't keep me from you. Now, yes, he would.
He was trying to get out there.
She was trying to get the hell out of there, bro. To the point that she like, look, let's talk to dad. He won't refuse me to be yours. But if David is the man of God, David ain't no way he can approve of Amnon, his son, marrying his half-sister. Not as the man of the law. And so we know that she was trying to get out of the situation. Amnon wasn't hearing it. And that Negro raped his father's daughter, his sister. Was she his wife? Now, I mean, you could look at the rape, but the rape is still sex. This is just forced sex. Did she become his wife? No, she ain't become his wife. She even said that in trying to get out of it, there's a process to be made a man's wife. Go to the king and he'll give you permission. And then look at how this fool treat her. Just for effect, let's read it. Verse 15.
Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had for her. And Amnon said unto her, arise, be gone.
Damn.
And she said unto him, there is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other that thou did unto me. But he would not hearken unto her.
Y'all, when Dinah and Shechem became sexually active, this man fell in love with her and treated her kindly. This dude was obsessed, claiming he loved his sister. And after he raped her, now he hated her more than how he obsessed over her before he raped her. This is not marriage. He has treated his sister like a whore. She couldn't fight him off. And this Negro deserved death according to the law. And if you read the rest of the story, his death came 2 years later by the hand of Absalom. But we know there is no marriage here. You think there's a marriage here, brother?
Not at all.
Ain't no marriage here.
Hey,
let's
bro.
Go to yeah.
Didn't the law consider rape on the same level as murder, right?
Yeah. You got put to death for that. If they caught if a woman was raped and they caught you, they knew who the rapist was. Yeah, you got put to death, bro. Let's go to Judges 14. Let's look at another scenario. Let's go to Judges 14. Look at this here. Start at 1 when you got it, sir.
And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines, or the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughter of Philistines. Now therefore, get her for me to wife.
Hold on. I want to marry this woman. Mom, dad, can y'all get me this woman for my wife? And so they tried to talk him out of it, but his heart was set on her. They didn't want him to marry no Philistine girl, but they couldn't persuade him. So verse 5, bro.
Then went Samson down and his father and his mother to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against them. And the spirit of Yah came.
Yeah, we don't need to read that. I just wanted y'all to see his mother and his father come with him. Right? Now, verse 7.
And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold,
hold on. He came and met the woman. Y'all, he did it the right way. His parents approach her family, and he get to like kind of talk with the woman. Any of y'all ever seen the first Godfather movie when Don Corleone got shot? Remember when Don Corleone got shot and then Mike murdered the police dude and they had to send him to Italy? Remember when Mike was over there and Mike wanted to talk to the girl and he approached her father, and then they set a feast where he get to meet the girl officially and he could give her a gift, and then he came back and they get to know each other, and they kind of on a date, and you see them walking and talking, and then about 20 yards behind them you see like mamas and grandmamas and sisters. You ain't going nowhere with her out of our sight. You can walk about 20 yards ahead, go ahead and get your sweet nothings on, get your talk on. Go ahead and woo her, make her feel good. Every time she think about you, she smile. But I tell you what, young Michael Corleone, you ain't going nowhere with her in private, sir.
What you say?
So here, the Israelites had a similar process. And this is how they even had respect going to foreign people, the people next door, the Philistines. So he go back because he want this woman as his wife. And when he come back, it says this, verse 10.
So his father went down unto the woman.
Who went, bro?
His father.
His father. That means his father is going to her father. That's what that means. Go ahead.
And Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do.
Wait, hold on. He made a feast. He did, y'all. If you understand the rituals, and especially if you study the ancient Near Eastern culture, y'all might be surprised at how much stuff even the Canaanites in them had that was very similar to Israel. They just had other things that were abominable to the Most High. So at the end of the day, Samson did whatever was needed, and he threw a party for a week to celebrate this woman becoming his. This was part of the culture. He didn't just go and sleep with the girl and she my wife. The parents approach the other parents and this, that, and the third, and an agreement is made. They get to know each other, and then they're allowed and this, that, and the third. Even when it dealt with how you approach another people that's not the Israelites, they still approach with respect and decorum. Samson was honorable. I want to marry this woman. Let's go to another example. Ruth. Chapter 4. Let's look at how this woman from another country was dealt with, being the former wife of the kin of Boaz. Here we go, Ruth 4:1. You can read it when you got it.
Then went Boaz up to the gate and sat down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one, turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit ye down here. And they sat down. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land, which was our brother Elimelech's. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, Buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me, that I may know, for there is none to redeem it besides thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. Then said Boaz, What day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up a name of the dead upon his inheritance. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar mine own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it.
Okay, so basically, he wants to take Ruth as a wife, but he knows that there's another who has a right to the land, and because Naomi is tied to her husband's land, he want to tie Ruth to the land. So purchase the land, and then also, quote unquote, purchase the woman. Give something for the woman and make her your wife. That's what he's basically saying. And dude was like, nah, I'm good. Take my right to yourself. I can't do it. Verse 7, bro.
All right. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. For to confirm all things, a man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor. And this was a testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, Buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. And Boaz said unto the elders, Unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day, that I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all
Kilian's and Malan's.
Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Milan, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up a name unto the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day. And all the people that were in the gate, and the elder said, We are witnesses. Yahuwah make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and Leah, which two did build the house of Israel. And do thou worthily in Ephratah, and be famous in Bethlehem. Let thy house be like the house of Phares, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which Yah shall give thee of this young woman.
And look at what it says. Go ahead.
So Boaz took Ruth, she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, Yah gave her conception, and she bare a son.
Now, I wanted to read that last part on purpose, because remember, in case you got those who would teach that Shechem raped Dinah, all it said was he took her and he had sex with her and he fell in love with her and treated her kindly. Here it says Boaz took Ruth. Took don't mean force. But notice the process he went through, got witnesses, the elders of the people. Remember, y'all, Ruth then left everything to come back here with Naomi. So the people are witnesses, And their custom at that time with the shoe and all of this was their form of a sealed contract, witnesses, people. If anything ever go foul, there's people who could come before the judges and the elders and say, we were witnesses. When most people have a marriage, they have witnesses. It is to protect the male and the female and the families involved. This was it. If he would have slept with Ruth when he first met her and all that, she wouldn't have been his wife, and he would have stepped on the right of the nearest kinsman of Elimelech, who by levirate style context had the first right to get that land and to take Ruth as his wife. So if Boaz just would have slept with her out of lust, that would not have been his wife, and he would have defiled the process of right in Israel at that time. Some of their ritual can seem strange to us, but we understand what's going on here, don't we? Yeah, we understand what's going on here. So far, it's clear sex is not marriage. Now, we see that once they were married, and now that she's officially recognized as his wife, then he consummated the marriage, and we see that sex is a part of the marriage. That's clear. Let's go to Deuteronomy 24. Let's look at the law here. Deuteronomy 24. Hey, if you are just joining us, welcome to the Bible Dojo. For some of you, it's probably been a minute you ain't been around, but we still out here doing what we do. Salute to all the fam on Clubhouse tuning in, all my Facebook and all my YouTube family. Appreciate all of y'all tuning in tonight. I'm hoping that this is edifying. If you are not a member of the Bible Dojo on Clubhouse, please hit that greenhouse and become a member. Also, give me a follow. If you're watching on YouTube right now and you are not a subscriber, why ain't you one? And if you're on Facebook and you ain't sent that friend request, what's taking so long? What, you don't want to be my friend? You don't want to be my friend? So, hey, bro, let's keep this moving. So we got the man who's going to send the woman out of his house, right? Okay, verse 1, bill of divorcement.
When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she found no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it to her and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
Now, brethren, for people who believe that uncleanness had something to do with adultery, let's say it did, but the man couldn't prove it. Well, there was something on the books that, and you know, unless he wanted to go and do the, you know, the bitter water thing, but some men probably skip that. You know, if you think your woman did something like that with a man, you done caught her with a servant. What if you caught her with another woman? What if you walked into the barn and seen her standing uncouthly in front of a damn animal or something, but nobody saw it? Remember, she can't be put to death unless 2 or 3 witnesses corroborate it. So yes, a man could have caught his wife, you know, in a compromising position, but they can't put her to death in Israel if they're lawful and just, without there being 2 or 3 besides the man to corroborate that this is what happened and that they saw it. So yes, there could have been that, but I'm not convinced that this at all was just a sexual uncleanness. You know, he could have seen some deformity or blemish in this woman. And, you know, people have their different views on this, but at any rate, the end result is a divorce. And when this woman is divorced, a legal contract that ends a marriage, she can go and become another man's wife. Now, is that the process? So she just meet another man and sleep with her, and now she another man's wife? No. In Israel, they had marriage process. So she could become another man's wife. Now, read verse 3.
And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send
Oh,
it
she
to
literally got paperwork in her damn hand in order to get out of a marriage, but y'all want us to believe wasn't no paperwork put on the table for her to get in one?
her.
Y'all really think we supposed to believe that? Nah. And going to the Apocrypha, they got examples of Israelites writing out actual marriage contracts. So we know they wrote this out. Men, yo, I'm sorry. Any man who would teach that, I just pray that his daughter keep herself, unspotted, and his sons. And I hope he understand when it, God forbid, his son go and sleep with a woman without permission of her father, and he meet the father, and the father hot. Father want to strangle his son. He should understand. Or is he going to turn around and say, well, why are you so mad, man? That's his wife, bro. Yeah. Them kind of dudes got to... I hope it's not too many who think like that. I know it's some. It's even some sisters who unfortunately believe that. But where I'm from, in the circle I run in, that ain't gonna work, buddy. That ain't gonna work, buddy. It might actually come to blows. You might see grown folk fighting if somebody come around thinking some Negro got right to my daughter just because he had sex with her. But for many of us, that even sounds strange because most, let me not say most, too many of our sisters are being raised without the protection of a father and brothers who love her enough. Some sisters don't treasure themselves enough to even fight their lust and not be sexual until they're married. And then the reverse is the same for many of our young men. And so some of this stuff is just Bible to us. It's not our reality because unfortunately, even some people who claim they in the truth and they raising young kids right now may not have the pleasure of being able to convince a young daughter in this society to keep her virginity, a young man in this society to keep his virginity and not be a whoremonger. That's what's so sad about this. We read the Bible, all of us, all these saved in Christ people with no culture that protects a young man and a young woman, where they themselves outside of our sight have such a standard within themselves that our young men are telling our young sisters, no, no, we're going to have to be married. And the sisters telling the man, I'm not doing nothing with none of you. The man I be like that with, that's the man who's my husband. That's so unfortunate that would be like a damn the Hope diamond or something, like the Queen's diamond that they got in a museum over in Britain with police standing around it. That rare. That's sad, man. And I pray that for all of y'all listening who in the truth, I hope you raising a generation that really will be able to be better than we were. And you know how that better can start? Maybe I didn't come in like that. So the next best thing is for our sons and daughters to grow up seeing their mothers loved by men who are in covenant with them, and vice versa. That might be the thing that can give a better chance to raise some sons and daughters who might hold out a little bit better because their first line of defense at home is that example. I really pray for more of that. And I know that some of that is happening among our people, and I praise Yah for it. I praise Yah for that. Raising your sons and daughters in the admonition of Yah. It ain't easy out here, but man, oh man, that's a good thing if you can do it. So, hey, let's go. So we see this here. Now, verse 3 said, if the husband, the second husband, they don't make it, and he give her a divorce paper and give it in her hand and send her out of his house, or if he died and she widowed, what did it say in verse 4, bro?
Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that, she's defiled. For that is
no, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
Hope you good. For that is abomination before Yah. Thou shalt not cause the land to sin. which Yah thy Elohim have given thee inheritance.
Now, why does it say she is defiled? Not because she wasn't in a marriage covenant again, but because this shows you, for those who think, yeah, hey, bro, you remember we had a conversation with some of our brothers about the scripture and what it explicitly teaches is fornication. Y'all know why this woman, even though she was married, she's not out here whoring. She got divorced or she became a widow. Her second husband eventually died. It's the idea of, hey, bro, if she would have never been with another man, you could have made her your wife again. But once she is touched by another man, that in a sense makes her defiled in this context. I don't want the women of my people hopping from one man to another in the first place. So if you sent her out and she's no longer your wife, hey, let me ask you this, Stephen. Stephen, Stephen, if a man gives his wife a bill of divorce, that means their covenant is over, right? So if let's just say he take her back, she don't go and be another man, and years later they see each other and they miss each other and they want to try it again, and he marries her again. Is that the renewing of the old marriage agreement, or is this a totally brand new covenant?
It's new.
It's a new covenant. Hey, and I seen what you said there, brother Alberto. Salute. Welcome to the build tonight. I seen that right there. That just caught my eye. He said, especially when the children are born out of wedlock and the fathers feel forced to not raise them. Yeah. Hey, you know, I don't know too many men who feel, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know too many men who feel forced not to raise their kids. I know a lot of Negroes, bro, who was liars when they got the women pregnant. And some men are bastards and they not forced to not raise their kids. Some dudes just not interested in raising their kids if they can't have a woman. It was about her in the first place. It wasn't about the kids. I know some of y'all don't want to admit that you brought forth your children in bad damn circumstances. And this ain't for you, Albert. I'm talking to the whole crowd because I did it. So I'm the data. I don't need to read a magazine and get stats. Damn it, I'm the data. And my cousins are the data. We, unfortunately, follow a path of men before us who didn't raise us. And so of some of us, we slept with women. And when it didn't work out between us and a woman, we moved on quickly and got another woman. And sometimes go back and try to have sex with the baby mama until she get a man. She eventually get another man. I seen some guys who make promises to their children and don't keep it. So it's definitely true. Some men, when a relationship don't work out, some women shun the man, treat him foul, and this man desire to see his kids, and he can't really be with him. He gonna have to go to the court. That's not good, but he's suffering the result of his evil. Now, if your children alive, I'll just go out on a limb and say, hey, the Lord wanted that person in the world, because I don't want to say to you, your child was a mistake. Many of you ain't planning on having no kid. You was never married. You had a couple kids and ain't never got married. You love your babies, and you women and you men ain't going to say my child was a mistake. It ain't got to be. But that child was born in evil. And the suffering y'all going to go through is a result of your evil. The things I went through with my son that wasn't good, that I didn't like, sometimes the way I felt his mother was being, and probably sometimes the way she felt I was being, that was foul between us. But y'all know what? I deserve it. The child did not. The child inherited the fornication decision of me and the mom. And brothers, if you don't want to go through that, you better probably consider not touching a woman if she's not your wife. And with me saying that, y'all know what's so sad about what I just said? some people who claim to serve God hear that statement from a Bible teacher like me and have a hard time with that statement because they don't think they could control their flesh. Damn. You supposed to serve God. And what I just said prick you a bit, not because you don't serve the Lord, but because so many of us don't think we can go without sex. Some sisters who love God can't control their damn flesh. Some brothers who love the Lord cannot control their flesh. And so because they can't, there's an evil doctrine from the gates of damn Hades, Sheol, Tartarus, Gehenna, all the names for damn hell that say, well, if I sleep with her, she my wife. So we see the Most High say, hey, you don't take that woman back. Marriage covenant over. She can enter into a covenant with another man.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Most High considered that to be an abomination? Do you think it was,
It's because of the women passing back and forth between men. I don't think the Most High wanted that.
Right.
That's the only thing I can get out of it, because she didn't
Like the
break
mingling
any
of
law.
seed?
Huh?
Like the mingling of two seeds, two different seeds in the same field, kind of like principle.
Probably something like that, where it's like, look, this man, you was with her. You were sexual with her. It didn't work out for whatever the reason was, whatever the uncleanness was. You sent her out of your house with a bill of divorce. Now, it was no issue if she didn't become another man's wife. That's why I never thought it was a good idea for David to go and get Michal after Saul gave her to another man. But David, after he became king, went to the nigga house and said, yo, give me my wife. She technically was his wife, but bro, come on, David. I ain't gonna shoot down the OG at all. But how many of y'all really think it was a good idea for David to go get Michal? Now, if Michal hadn't been sexually active with the man, okay, maybe I can see it. He like, bro, you ain't touch her? That's what's up. Yo, bro, Saul promised her to me, and he treated me foul. She was never supposed to be with you. So before things get out of hand, give me my wife. That's one thing. But I don't have any illusion to think she hadn't been that man's wife. She was that man's wife. And David went and took her and said, give me my wife. And then she the one done pissed David off, and David sent her away from him and wasn't sexually active with her no more. And she never had children. Y'all, if you look at the scripture, y'all know sometimes we have a hard time admitting that our mothers and our fathers were foul at moments like us. Don't romanticize them. The scripture not giving us their story because they were without flaw. And a lot of times it shows us their flaws, and sometimes a decision they shouldn't have made. So, hey, Stephen, I just see it as, okay, by law, she is free to marry another. If she marry another, she hasn't transgressed the Torah. But if it don't work out, or even if it did, and eventually the second husband died and she's a widow, don't let her first husband take her back after another man has had her, because you don't want the land defiled in that sense. There is something there, and it might be that mingling of the seed principle. Don't put, this, that, and the third. It could be, but that's the only reason I can find why the Most High would say, yo, the land would be defiled after that. Now, remember, the land, y'all, this don't represent a guy and a lady. This represent millions of people. So let's just say in 1 year, you had 10,000 divorces and all the tribes combined. And now some of them women then went and became wives, and they lost their second husbands. And now those first husbands wind up taking the woman back and making her his wife again. After she been with that man, it didn't say she couldn't marry another man, but don't you take her back. Your opportunity to be with her was only valid if she never had been with another man after y'all divorced.
Setting a bad example for the people in the land.
Yeah, bro. The most and I don't have to understand it all, but I definitely believe that this is strange to us because we're Americanized, we're hypersexualized since childhood. I know we're hypersexualized since childhood. I remember my sisters throwing clothes out the back window. My mom didn't want them because in the 90s, the style started to change. Yo, y'all remember in the late 80s and early 90s where the girls wore baggy clothes like the guys? And then something switched and the girls started wearing mad tight clothes. And when that trend started to change, my mama told her daughters, y'all ain't going to school dressed like that. And my mama brought my sisters what she wanted them to have. My one sister, damn it, took her next sister, who was like a year or almost two younger, who wore like a size smaller. Yo, she took some of her clothes, threw them out the damn back window. I ain't know. I remember we was leaving out to go to school and I seen my sister run in the yard. I said, what you had to go in the yard for? She said, oh, I was looking for something. I'm dumb. I don't know what the hell she did. Yo, son, we got to school. Bro, my sister, by the time I saw her 2 periods later, had on a whole different outfit. I didn't snitch, but my sister got used to doing that. And one time she got in trouble in school and got sent to the principal's office, bro. And they called my mom and my mom had to come get her off work. And my mama walked in and not only was my sister in trouble, my first thing my mother said, who the hell clothes you got on? It was ultra smoke. My mother, I didn't understand it, but my mother's like, oh, you want to be fast, huh? This, that, and the third, trying to wear these tiny, them jeans too small for you. I don't even know how you got in them. Da, 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 da. But that was a mother of 30 something years ago. This was 35, telling my age. This was about 35 years ago. And I know it's still mothers out here like that. But why am I saying that? The hypersexualization of our young men and women. Like I told y'all, it was getting bad in my generation when I'm 14, 15, fornicating, making fun of another kid my age who ain't touched a girl yet sexually. We ridiculed him until he felt so guilty that he'll lie. You know how I know a lot of my homies lied? Because before I touched a girl, I'm 12 years old. Y'all, parents, do y'all know some of y'all kids are in 6th and 7th grade lying, talking about they've been sexually active with a boy or a girl because other boys and girls their age are peer pressuring them and making fun of them. That happened to me. Dudes made it so bad to not have touched a girl and fondled her. I remember one of these dudes said, man, do you even know what a girl looked like down there? I was like, yeah. They were talking about what? Tell us. I'm like, y'all, I didn't know. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't. But they talking about tell us. And I'm like, man, what you mean, man? Y'all so stupid. Y'all know what it looked like. Dang, I ain't telling you nothing. If I got, now I turn it. You asking me because you ain't seen one. Now we up here, y'all, we arguing. 12, 13 years old with each other talking about you ain't seen one. Come on, y'all. And our parents wasn't no better. I tell people this all the time, and some cats get mad. I was born in the 70s. If any of you are in your 40s and 50s and you only 15 to 20 years younger than your mother, then y'all know what that means? in the 60s and the 70s, our parents were a generation. They were right on the back end of that free love stuff as America started to become over-sexualized in the late 60s going into the 70s. If you 42 and your mama 57, you know what that means, right? Your mama had you when she was 15. That's what that means. Right around 1980, your mama 15 years old. So in the 90s, when you got sexually active, and then the next generation in the early 2000s got sexually active, and now these girls running around here with these big ass eyelashes like Snuffleupagus. They wear their clothes and want to show their bellies. Now they make pants for girls that don't even need belts anymore. It ain't no damn belt loop or nothing in it. Girls got jackets that in the winter, girls walking around with jackets that hardly even reach down to their waist anymore. Y'all tell me y'all don't see it. Why is it like that? Because of an industry that is making commerce of our sons and our daughters. How these boys wear, how these niggas sagging jeans that's tight. Now boys walk around so girls can see their drawers. Why? Because they're the outcome of what the last 2-3 generations did. This, what we looking at, that some of us speak down on these babies about, they are the result of us, our mamas, and grandmamas. So we see what that law was, but we saw bill of divorce. Yo, let's look at something, bro. Hey, bro, go to Jeremiah 3. The Most High gonna say something. When I first read this, bro, I hollered. This like 20-something years ago when I first read this text and I understood what it was saying. I was like, yo, the Most High wildin'. Yo, Jeremiah 3:1.
They say if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not the land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. Yet return again to me, saith Yah.
Lord, yo, in order to save this people, the Most High has to what? He has to go beyond the law he gave. He's like, yo, y'all say among y'all like this is how it should be, right? Well, I'm saying if that's the case, there would be no hope for Israel and Judah. Because I'd had to divorce them because they was hoeing. And it done been with many more since the divorce. But I'm going to be merciful and do something that to you all, if any man did it, according to Torah, that would be an issue. That's one reason why I believe Jesus said Moses made that judgment. So I know some brethren don't believe that. They like, no, man, that's not, I just for the record, in Deuteronomy 24, Zadok believed that was a judgment of Moses, that Moses created the bill of divorce because of the hardness of the hearts. Moses told the people in the wilderness, y'all been hard-headed since I known you. He even told them in Deuteronomy 32 or 33, after my death, I know y'all gonna be foul. And the Most High gonna wind up putting y'all out this land. I believe that Moses, because he understood that men were hard, sometimes a woman being put away was mercy for her. And sometimes men had women who were so foul that because of the hardness of the woman, a man don't wind up putting a woman away. This is why when the Most High didn't say, y'all know in my law, I said, he said, they say. You know how he said, hey, son of man, what is this? What do they mean by this proverb they got talking about? The fathers ate wild grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. That was their own saying. When the Most High said, they say, The Most High never said, I said. He said, they say, if a man put away his wife and this, that, and the third. Y'all, man, I could be wrong, but I just want to be straight up with y'all. That's that, because some people say the Most High went against his own law. I don't think he did. He allowed judgment in Israel, but the Most High, that's man's judgment. I'm saying I want my wife to come back to me. I know among y'all, they say that if this happened and a man take back that woman who done been with others after her husband, that land will be greatly polluted. So are we saying God done something polluted? He done something antithetical? No. I believe the Most High is saying, if that was my standard, there would be no hope for Israel. I'm taking my wife back. Now, I want y'all to understand that there was a divorce. Go to Hosea 2, chapter 2, please. I know this is a lot, but sometimes you need a lot. Hosea chapter 2. And for the sake of time, we're going to skip down, bro. And look at what the Most High says here in verse 19. This is him in the beginning of this text. He said, I ain't messing with her. And then he say, but I'm going to re-engage her. So we know that they're divorced. And look at what he says, verse 19.
And it shall be, and I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies. I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know Yah.
Ooh, hold on. Betrothal is what, brother? Isn't that the process that's the promise?
The engagement.
That's the engagement, a betrothal. The Most High said, I'm promising you to me. But they were already his people, but the covenant was broken. Let's go over to Ezekiel chapter 16. I shouldn't have to read the verses to let y'all know that the Lord said the marriage was over. Tell your mother she is not my wife. But let's go over to Ezekiel 16. And I got 2 texts left after this.
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel 16. And when we get there, bro, look at, y'all pay attention to this. Start at verse 1. This is so good. Go ahead.
And again, the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, Thus saith Yah, the Elohim of Jerusalem, unto Jerusalem, Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. And as for thy nativity, in the day that thou was born, thy navel was cut off, neither was thou washed in the water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. None eye pitied thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion on thee, but thou was cast out in an open field to the loathing of thy person in the day that thou was born. And when I passed by thee, I saw thee polluted in thine own blood. I said unto thee, when thou was waste in thy blood, live. Yea, I said unto thee, when thou was waste in thy blood, live.
Now, I believe the Most High is here talking about how when it was just the family and of Israel, and he looked at the city of Jerusalem, and he's saying Jerusalem started out in the hands of the Canaanites and the Amorites and the Hittites. We know that when the children of Israel came in, who had what's called Jerusalem? The Jebusites had control of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not a new city. The Israelites didn't create it. They just took it over, and in the days of David, Jerusalem became the capital. And he's saying, look, in the beginning, Jerusalem, you weren't taken care of because of what was happening. You was all in your blood. You weren't taken care of. He's talking about the condition of Jerusalem. And then he said, but I saw you and I took you. Basically, I wanted you. I wanted to take care of you. I'm going to raise you and clean you up. And that's when the Most High had it in his mind on giving Israel it. But it was still going to be centuries before he brought it to pass. But this is interesting. When Moses took the people in and he was handing that generation over to Joshua, Moses said, this land that you're going in, be very careful because you're strangers and foreigners in it with the Most High. The land is his. His eyes are always upon it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. You remember reading that, Stephen?
Mm-hmm.
The land, not Israel is in the wilderness. He's telling them about how the Most High feel about this place. That means the Most High been taking care of this place, making it lush and plush to bring you in. So y'all, the Most High was in love with the land before he had even brought Israel to it. That's what this is talking about. And then she was in her blood from the people who were there originally. The Most High cleaned her up and got rid of those people. Now check this out. He's talking about how the land eventually started to grow and become beautiful. Look at this, verse 7.
I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great. Thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thy hair is grown, whereas thou wast naked and bare.
But check this out. So he's saying, like a baby, Jerusalem was innocent and it was in his blood. It wasn't taken care of. It wasn't swaddled. And he said, while you were in your blood, I said, live. And it grew up, and he started to see that it became a woman. Your breasts, basically, it was the age of adolescence. Your breasts are fashioned and your hair is grown. But she was still naked and bare, but she's no longer this baby that's not swaddled. Now she's a young woman, breast fashioned, hair grown. And he said this, verse 8. Look at this, bro.
Now when I pass by thee and look upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee and entered into the covenant with thee, saith Yah, and thou becamest mine.
When did it become? First, he just took care of it. He cared about a baby. And she grew to a young, beautiful woman, but she was naked. So he took his mantle and covered her nakedness. He didn't get busy with her. He covered her to protect her, because now it's the time of love. I see what you're looking like, so others see what you're looking like. But I'm going to take you for myself. I covered your nakedness, and I swore to you and entered into a covenant, and you became mine. She wasn't the Lord's until he gave her a marriage covenant. Then she became his. Go ahead, bro. Look at this.
Then washed I thee with water. Yes, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed you with oil.
Mm-hmm.
I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shawled thee with badger skin. And I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk.
That's good. Do y'all think that he just happened to name the stuff that the tabernacle was covered with? When he chose Jerusalem and the tabernacle of God was set there finally in the time of David. And then, if we know later on, the temple was built. Once Jerusalem officially became the capital, the Most High had entered into a covenant with Jerusalem. He's talking to the land because the land is going to eventually be destroyed. The capital city, that house that made her beautiful, is going to be burnt. That priesthood that was put in her to make her beautiful is going to be taken away, and her gates are going to get broken down. But I wanted you all to notice the process. She was a young lady, and when he saw it was the time of love, meaning she was ready to be wifed, but she was still naked, he took her and covered her nakedness, and then entered into a covenant with her and made her his. It's an allegory about Jerusalem, Zion, the capital. But he spoke about it as one who saw someone grow from a baby girl to a beautiful young girl. And then he made an agreement with her. And after that agreement was made, she became his wife.
She ready.
Hey, Willie, we know women and girls in biker shorts in the 80s. We know. I'm going to tell you right now. We thought it was nasty when Salt and Pepper did the Push It record. Push it. Y'all remember that? Push it good. They was really saying something else, but on the radio, it had to be what it was. This was before they allowed all kind of cussing. Y'all remember? Push it. I'm a damn kid. Y'all know how many times I played that damn song in the house? Over and over again. And what did they have on? Them legging jeans. Y'all know how many times I watched that video when Yo MTV Raps first came on with Fab Five Freddy? But it got really out of control. Y'all know who turned me out? Oaktown 357. B Angie B and her homegirls with MC Hammer. I had never seen a damn bodysuit when them girls in that video for MC Hammer. Y'all remember Juicy Got Them Crazy? And B Angie B and them had on entire damn body outfits that looked like they was painted on them. We did, yo, do y'all know what we was talking about in school today after that video came out? All of us young boys running around. And guess what? By the time the school year was out, all the girls, a lot of the girls was trying to get their mamas to buy them those Oaktown 357 bodysuits. Y'all, it got so bad in some schools that they had to imply dress codes and say, yo, some of these girls can't come to school dressed like this because teachers were complaining. That's how bad it was in some high schools in New York in the 90s. I don't know where it was for everywhere else.
Hey, I know you know that.
Oh, come on. Or mix a lot with his evil self. Baby got back? Are you kidding me? Bro, this was our childhood, and y'all surprised that we've raised kids who love Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion? I pray them sisters, you know, I pray they repent but if they got children, before their children get old enough to kind of be turned out. But that's just the truth of the matter, man. I'm telling y'all, there is a lot. There is a lot to be said about what is being done in this generation. And it is a shame that within the confines of the so-called body of Hamashiach, you would have individuals teaching our young men that, oh, basically, because you know what young men do and young women, a girl would just come in her mind, well, hey, if I'm asleep with him, I know that's my husband. Well, hey, Aki, I know if I wind up sleeping with her, I know that's my wife. Instead of, nah, ain't my father and mother say a man can't touch me until they've allowed me to be his wife. Brothers being like, man, I can't touch this girl, man, until her parents give me her hand in marriage. And
hey, bro,
we know that in Jeremiah 31, the Most High said he was going to enter into a new covenant with Israel. So when we read that thing over there in Jeremiah 3, and he said, I'm saying to return unto me my wife, how is he going to make her return? A new marriage contract. Go ahead, bro. You was going to say something there, Stephen?
Well, you got a lot of people walking around lying and calling their girlfriend's wife. Yeah, that's my wife. That's my wife.
Wifey.
You know, even if they are in a relationship, you know what I mean? No, your wife is your wife.
Yo,
You
check
know.
this out, bro. Look at this. This right here is interesting. I'm going to show you guys something before I get up out of here. Let me share my screen again. Actually, I'm just going to share the entire screen this time so I don't have to go back and forth. What time is it? 10:47? Been on for a little over 2 hours. It's all good. If y'all tired, gone. Y'all gone. And God willing, you can catch the rest on the replay. Just play it from this point forward. But I got a little bit more I want to show. I want to show a little bit more. This right here. This is from kabod.org. And they're giving a history on the Jewish marriage ceremony. And you accept it or you don't. But hey, can you see this, bro, on my screen? Steven?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to start because they got a modern way of doing it, but they're going to make a claim about the historical narrative on how the Israelite marriage system developed over time. So here we go. Before the revelation.
Before the revelation at Sinai, a man would meet a woman on the street, and if both desired marriage, he would bring her into his home and have intercourse privately without the testimony of witnesses, and she would become his wife.
So for those who they're teaching this kind of before Sinai kind of mindset. Go ahead. Well, at least that's the claim. Go ahead.
And when the Torah was given, the Jews were instructed that in order to marry a woman, the man should acquire her in the presence of witnesses. Then she would become his wife. As the Torah says, when a man takes a woman and has intercourse with her, this taking is a positive commandment and is performed in one of three ways: with money, by contract, or by cohabitation. And it is everywhere called Kedushin or Erushin. And a woman who is acquired is in one of these three ways. It's called Mekurshet or Erusa, a betrothed woman. And as soon as she is acquired and becomes betrothed, even though she has not cohabited and did not even enter into the groom's home, she is a married woman.
Wait, hold on. So even though once she's betrothed, meaning once she's promised and the money and the contract thing talks is going, and now she's promised, even though she has not been sexual and has not even been in the groom's home, she is considered a married woman. That's why the scriptures say, if a man take a woman who is betrothed and lie with her, him and her shall be put to death. Not just the woman who is fully married yet, but she's even promised in the engagement process. Go ahead, bro. Anyone other than her husband.
Okay. She is a married woman. Anyone other than her husband who cohabits with her is guilty of capital punishment. And if he wishes to separate from her, he requires a divorce.
He requires a divorce. So now here we go. They're going to name the three ways. The first one is money. Go ahead, bro. And these are, and I just want y'all to know, because they're going to quote Maimonides a lot, and they're going to talk about the taking of a woman by a man in one of the three ways that they did it in times past, meaning after Sinai, this is how they understand the Israelites to have done things. You don't get to rewrite history. Everything that deals with how the Hebrews did things is not all written in the scripture in detail. Israel had other writings besides what we call the Holy Scripture. They're not off the table, people. So let's look at the three ways of the past that they would decide to deal with things. Money, which is called kesef. Go ahead, bro.
So money, kasef. The man gives the woman money, even a low denomination coin, or the equivalent of money. Today, a ring is customary before two witnesses, and says, "You are hereby betrothed unto me with this ring in accordance to the laws of Moses and Israel." The bride, by her acceptance, indicates her willingness to be married to the groom.
Continue. Wait,
Number
hold on. Now, this is why, because the church is in the new covenant, but by betrothal, the marriage is not fully consummated yet, which is why the apostle Paul said, "I have betrothed you unto one husband." He said, "I work to present you to Christ as like a chaste virgin without spot and without blemish." He said, "You have been betrothed unto one husband," meaning the church is promised unto Christ. That's why the new covenant has already begun. Just like we just read there. See, even the imagery of the scripture follows Israelite marriage tradition. But you got to know the marriage tradition to know, oh, damn, that's what it is. So the church is being worked out for the wedding day to be presented clean and flawless like a virgin. But right now, with the baptism and the coming in of faith, the church is promised, it is betrothed, so it's still considered the wife. Is that correct, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead to number 2, contract.
Number 2, contract, shatar. The man gives the woman a deed before two witnesses, which contains the names of the couple and the groom's marriage formula. This deed is not in nature of evidence of the marriage, but is for the purpose of effecting the bond of marriage. It is not to be confused with the ketubah, which is given as protection of the woman after the kiddushin.
So he said the deed in itself is not in nature the evidence of the marriage, but it is for the purpose of effecting the bond of marriage, meaning the marriage is the agreement even without that, the promise. But when you bring the contract to the table before witnesses, it affects the bond of the marriage, meaning it is public and it is known and you can be held to it. Go ahead, bro. Intercourse.
Number 3, intercourse, bi'ah. After the man has addressed the marriage formula to the woman before two witnesses,
Wait,
the
hold on.
couple.
Wait, hold on. Before or after the man has addressed? So after the contract, after the man has addressed the marriage formula to the woman before the two witnesses, and of course it could be more. Go ahead, bro.
The couple retires to a private place with the intent of effecting the betrothal through intercourse. The sages considered this to be gross, virtually an act of prostitution. And in the 3rd century, Rav decreed flogging for those who choose this manner of betrothal. Nonetheless, if the marriage was performed in this way, it was legally valid.
So they're letting you know in some places they didn't even like that. They did not want you to do that because they even wanted a ceremony, not just the two witnesses, but a ceremony. So in some places they like, hold on, just because you had two witnesses, that's not enough. You don't sleep with that woman yet because they needed the entire family involved. But remember, y'all, the society gets to enact its terms. But I wanted you all to see some of these things. Now, check this out. Let's go to the kicha.
Kitcha. Taking the formal acquisition approximates the economic term kiyan and seals the marriage, because this is the first stage in the process of creating a covenant of partnership. Unions that are prohibited and void, such as incest, are never referred to in the Torah by the term kitcha or kicha, but as shekiva, sleeping together. In regards to almost all valid marriages, even those that are prohibited, the Torah makes specific reference to kitcha.
Hold on. Now, you know what's interesting about this? Because cats will talk about the Western world as if one thing that I hate. I hate when people use the West as a buzzword to mean these people don't do nothing right. God, I believe the apostles. God has found righteousness in the nations outside of Israel, the covenant people. That's why he desires to give them salvation too. It's not that Israel didn't have any righteousness. It's just Israel broke the covenant. But in other nations, they brought forth things that even the covenant itself had laws that are in line with laws that other nations had just by conscience of thought. Let me show you. Now, you just saw that thing about their views on incest and other things. No, there is no way that certain people can enter into a marriage if they want. If they did, we're not recognizing it. So we know incest is sex, but it wasn't marriage just because you done slept with a family member you shouldn't have. That's how we know, damn it. One more way. Sex isn't marriage. But I want to surprise you people. We're going to end with a swing for the fences tonight. Brother, let's go. I'm going to take people to the state of Florida penal code on marriage law. Y'all know Zadok be like in the remarriage law. So right here in the state of Florida, you have domestic relations, chapter 741. This is title, what would this be? Title 100 something, I guess. I don't know what the L stands for. I know you got 10 and then 3, but I don't know what the L stands for. Forgive me, everybody. But at any rate, this is Florida statutes on marriage and domestic violence. You could go read it all on your own, but I got it up here on the screen, or do I? Nope, I don't.
No,
have
you
it.
don't have. Yeah, it's not.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me share this, because I want y'all to see that in the United States, in almost every state, they got laws damn near identical to how the Israelites dealt with marriage law. And people don't know it. They say, the wicked. The wicked is just people who sin before God. We know Israel was wicked, and now Israel, the remnant, is at least trying to come unto Yah to repent of the wickedness of our nation. So we're not surprised that other nations are just as wicked, or sometimes even more. But let's see some of the things that they got right. Let me show y'all that Florida and New York. I went to the deep south, and then I came far up north just to show y'all. Let's go to Florida, Lau. Where we at? Oh, here we go. Nope, not getting married in New York. I don't want that one yet. It gotta be this one. Yeah, here we go. Okay, hey, Steven, can you see that? Is that good enough to see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm gonna scroll down because they tell you got marriage license application, penalty for violation, persons who are authorized by state law to go over a marriage. Look at this. Marriage not to be solemnized without a license, meaning you in Florida, it is illegal to perform a marriage ceremony and make it official without a license. Go ahead, bro. Can you read that right there? Section 741.08. Marriage not to be
1.08. Marriage to be solemnized without a license. Before any of the persons named in S.74.07 shall solemnize any marriage, he or she shall require of the parties of a marriage license, including according to the requirements of S.741.01, and within 10 days after solemnizing the marriage, he or she shall make a certificate thereof on the license, and shall transmit that same to the same to the office of the county court judge or clerk of the circuit court from which it issued.
So they're letting you know, for the pastors and the people who in our state have the right to preside over a marriage ceremony, you shall not consider the marriage official without a license. And after the marriage ceremony, y'all got 10 days to turn that into the county or the circuit court, but in order for the state to recognize it official. If that thing come later than 10 days, y'all, the state don't have to recognize the marriage, or they can give a penalty or a fine. Look at this. Proof of marriage where no certificate is available. Go ahead, bro, and show this part of Florida state law.
Proof of marriage where no certificate available. When any marriage is or has been solemnized by any person of the persons named in S.741.07, and such persons have not made the certificate thereof on the marriage license as required by S.741.08, or when the marriage license has been lost, or by reason of death or other cause, the proper certificate cannot be obtained, the marriage may be proved by affidavit before any officer authorized to minister oaths made by two competent witnesses who were present and saw the marriage ceremony performed.
Hold on. So, bro, if something happened and y'all can't produce that marriage license, or a couple lost it, the state can be like, well, we don't got to believe you married because y'all didn't get us the license. So you know who was going to come, bro? At least two witnesses who were present and saw the marriage ceremony performed. And then if that's the case, they'll create an affidavit and the state will put that on record. You see the importance of witnesses, people?
Mm-hmm.
Women, protect your daughters. Bros, protect your sons. Look at this. Now, we just seen the Hebrews was like, hey, if cats have incest, if they have incest sex, we are not marrying them. Look at this. Read that one, bro.
Incestuous marriages prohibited. A man may not marry any woman to whom he is related by lineal consanguinity or consanguinity, nor his sister, nor his aunt, nor his niece. A woman may not marry any man to whom she is related by lineal consanguinity, nor her brother, nor her uncle, nor her nephew.
So in their state, you're not even supposed to marry a cousin. And then someone ran to me, well, and one dude told me, well, in Florida, in Florida, they allow common law marriage. Nah, buddy, they don't. You got to be grandfathered in. And we're going to look at this. Go ahead, bro. Common law marriage is void.
Common law marriage is void. No common law marriage entered into after January 1st, 1968 shall be valid, except that nothing contained in this section shall affect any marriage which, though otherwise defective, was entered into by the party asserting such merit in good faith and in substantial compliance with this chapter.
So you all see that. Don't let people run that lie to you about common law marriage. Now, maybe in some places they allow it, but in the state of Florida, if your marriage was not a marriage before, if you were with a woman and y'all consider yourselves married, as long as it was before January 1st, 1968, y'all good. But anything after that, Florida is not recognizing a man and a woman who've been in a relationship for a long time living together as being legally married. We don't even allow you to call it common law marriage. That's just. Now, let's go look at New York State and we'll get up out of here because I could keep y'all here. I got more. I got about 7 other documents, but this is good enough for now. This is getting married in New York, and this is where I got married to my wife by the Most High's grace back in 1999. Here we go. Share the screen one more time. And I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight, Ak, because I know, tomorrow's a work day, school day, and all that.
No problem.
All right, here we go. So, marriage is a contract. This is from the New York City Bar Association's website. So, these are the lawyers' website in New York State, nycbar.org. So, this is inarguable. So, if you're in New York State, I'm telling you, you can run from Florida if you want, or try to run from New York down to Florida, and you ain't gonna be too much of a different. Go ahead, bro. Who can legally get married in New York? Read that for me, bro.
A marriage is considered a contract, so it must meet some of the requirements of the contract. For example, you must be over the age of 18 and must have the mental capacity to enter into a contract. You cannot still be married to another living person. You also cannot marry anyone who is a close blood relative, such as a mother or father, a brother or sister, an uncle, aunt, niece, or nephew. In New York, you can marry at the age of 16 to 17 with your parents' consent, and you can marry at the age of 14 to 15 if a court grants you permission. However, no one under the age of 14 can legally get married in New York. Your gender does not matter because same-sex marriage is permitted in New York.
Now, check this out. How many of you know that? Because some people act like, well, these men, they want these young girls. Let's just be honest. Some of these young girls is fine. Some of you old ladies was once fine young girls, and some of you old brothers was once handsome young men. If the parents, and y'all know who do this, in some of our Muslim communities who come over here to America in order to keep with their tradition, and this might sound crazy to some of y'all, but it's natural for a man to be attracted to a woman and a woman to a man. Most people know that in the biblical narrative, a lot of young women who were of childbearing age, not, oh, they got to be 19 age. No, childbearing age. Girls in Israel commonly were given as wives in around the age of 14, 15, 16 in a marriage. Were having children. That's just the facts. And in New York State, if the parents agree and then get the courts to grant permission, yes, a 20-year-old man can become the husband of a 14-year-old girl. And there are religious communities who go through the proper channels of the state, and most of the times what isn't a law of the state still is practiced among the people. They give a dowry and all of that. And yes, they can give a 14, 15-year-old girl by law, but y'all, the law is there to protect her. Now, for those who like, oh, no, that's too young. No, that's what's up. But I'm just letting you know what law is. And for those people who love the scripture, don't get too high-minded because our mothers were marrying young in the scripture. Marrying, though, but many of them were young. Okay, bro, go ahead and continue, please.
And if you get married and you and your spouse are too closely related, then you are not legally married. If either of you are still legally married to a former spouse or do not meet the age requirements, then you are not legally married. In any such case, your marriage is considered void, and it is as if you were never married.
Now, these kind of things are put on the table because, brethren, men are wicked. So a lot of people don't like in this country irreconcilable differences being now a part of divorce. Do many of you know that women started to pop up in numbers filing for divorces when that became federal law? Now all states have to have it in a law that a woman, y'all, in this society, a woman had to go through hell and high water to prove that she deserved to be disconnected from her husband. And so did a man. So why would they make it easier? I don't like it. But I'm going to tell y'all the same thing Jesus told the Pharisees. Because of the hardness of your hearts, the state made it easier for people to get out of marriages. I don't like it at all, but it ain't about me. It's about the hardness of the heart of men. And I want y'all to be honest and think real close in your families and in some of the histories. And if your family didn't go through this, then praise Yah. But in your neighborhoods and communities, how many women then had to suffer a damn tyrant and had the right by the state to get up out of that marriage? How many wives have had to unfortunately file restraining orders on abusive husbands? And now the man holding out thinking, no, well, you still my wife. He's an abuser and trying to force this woman. I know, unfortunately, what it is to have a sister go to a domestic violence shelter with her children, and it's proven domestic violence. And you can't tell the husband where she went by law. And then you turn around and you got many men who have been stuck in marriages with unfaithful women. But because it's children there, the children are held over the head of the man. So irreconcilable differences happened, and all of a sudden, women started to file for divorce in higher numbers than ever before. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And I remember one guy told me, see, that's a sign that women have gotten worse in society. I said, maybe it is, but another possibility is it's just a sign of if that law would have been passed 100 years earlier, what the hell would have happened? How about that as a possibility? Y'all know that a lot of women are damn oppressed. Y'all think it's only in the book of Malachi chapter 2 where the Most High said, hey man, I done seen the evil you men done did that done happened between you and the wife of your youth, and I seen how treacherous you've been to her. That's in the Bible in the damn Old Testament. Come on. Now all of a sudden men ain't treacherous no more. I'm not saying every man is treacherous, but don't underestimate how many Tina Turners exist. Y'all want to know how real that is? As real as we know molestation is happening in a lot of damn families, and girls ain't going turning in their daddies and their brothers and their uncles and their damn stepdaddies to the police. How about that? How I know a whole bunch of women in the church who've been molested as girls and they damn daddies or they uncles or some stepdad or somebody ain't never went to jail for that crap. Huh? That hardness exists. And a woman done left a man because he done touched her damn daughter. But so embarrassed, she just tell the court irreconcilable differences. Talk to me. So we ain't gotta like it, but remember the powers that be are ordained of God, and they don't bear the sword in vain, meaning their ability and right by Yah to execute law is not in vain. And he said, they'll be a terror to your evil works and they'll support you in your good. Now, of course, you're dealing with wicked man, but they're still ordained. Israel was ordained and they was wicked. Israel was wicked as hell when they got the 10 Commandments. They was already wicked. Whole generation that got the first set of laws died in the wilderness. And the lawgiver died in the wilderness. So let's not romanticize men because we had been given the Most High's law. Damn it, we didn't do it. Why? Because we was wicked. So don't look at other nations and cultures and just say how wicked they are without saying, yeah, God is dealing with wicked man. Everything the Most High is doing, he's dealing with wicked man to slowly bring man to repentance. Every government on earth has been wicked. Every single one. You can't name one. I dare you to find one. Historically or presently. But they still got that power. That same wicked government, it still has its purpose in the sight of the Most High. Because without it, it would be total damn anarchy. We be Mad Max and Thunderdome out here. Me and my mans would be running around with, we'd be like Abraham, man, come kill you, try to take your wife. We out here running as a damn tribe just to keep our women, because other men will come kill you just to take your woman. So it ain't perfect for us, but it's all we got right now. So I think I've done more than enough tonight to show you, brethren, that doctrine is not biblical. It didn't work then. It won't work now. And for all of us who are in captivity, if, for the Israelites listening, because I know everyone listening tonight, you might be believers, but everybody ain't Israel. But for those brethren who claim to be in captivity, then the power that the Most High has put you under their authority until he take us up out of this place, you have to be honorable to their laws. Find out. For some people, oh, I don't want no regular marriage license. Then in some states, they got other ways that you can go about it. And they'll actually honor marriages done in certain religious practices and communities and stuff a certain way. They'll do that too, but don't wind up being like them damn Mormons out in Utah. Some of them fringe LSD, LDS groups who was out there marrying a whole bunch of women and marrying their daughters, and the federal government got tired of it and went out there and shut that down because they've been given that authority to do so. So I'll just let you all know, hey, bro, Alejandro, the feminist thing, bro, I'm the wrong one to run that too, bro. I know the entire history of feminism. And while there's bad to it, it was going to happen because men are wicked as hell toward their women, bro. And guys don't want to admit that. So if anybody want to have a discussion with me about the feminist movement and how it started and why it started, then come holler at me, and you better have the history right. I'm not talking about your feelings. You better have the history right, because without that movement, some of these women would be more oppressed than they are now. So even though it does have its flaw, because women are sinners, at the same time, it's a whole bunch of women who are not in poverty. And I'm going to end it here. And some of you brothers watching tonight know who I'm talking about. For some of you brothers who've been really close to me over the last 4 or 5 years, y'all know about a dear sister of ours who was married to a man for over 20 years, college educated, not from the United States, got her degrees, but she came into a marriage covenant. And when that man was ready to divorce her, he hardly wanted to give her anything because he was mad because she didn't want to be in the marriage anymore. And that nigga basically left her in poverty, and she had to go back to the islands and get her mother's land. Because in America, she had nothing, because for 20 years, she was in a home where that man brought in the income and she was a stay-at-home mom. But without certain laws in this country that the feminist movement is responsible for, she couldn't have even got out of that marriage. So I applaud some of the results of the movement, even if it's other aspects of it that are unfortunate. So at the end of the day, and when it came to the black feminist movement, I ain't about to move my tongue against Sojourner Truth or Mother Mary McLeod Bethune and some of these other sisters who also fought for the civil rights of the black man, but also wanted to make sure that the black woman wasn't left hanging out there as well. They's like, Sister Sojourner said, it ain't right for us to fight for our husbands and sons to be free, and then we don't get the same rights as them. And when they want to, they can cast us aside at their whim. And we don't have rights on the books. So we want to make sure. So, hey, it is what it is. It's the will of God if it ain't nothing else. So, hey, y'all, I'm going to end there for the night. Brother Stephen, you didn't help me, bro. I appreciate your servitude. Any words you want to say, bro, before we dip up out of here? Okay. You didn't come off mic, Steven, so I'm going to assume you good, bro. Hey, for my Clubhouse fam, for the YouTube and Facebook fam, appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys so much for supporting the ministry. Once again, we do this on Sunday evenings. I'm going to be starting around, most high willing, around that 8:30 mark, just to be a little bit earlier and see how it goes. But I'm hoping that this encourages brothers and sisters. The closer we walk in the ways of the Most High, the better off we'll be in helping our sons and daughters, this next generation, who are hopefully going to desire to be husbands and wives. And we want them to go about it the right way. And the next time somebody come at you talking about sex is marriage, well, you can at least say, well, I know one guy who y'all might want to talk to. He might see that a little different. So, hey, man, Most High bless you and your households. Enjoy your week, all right? Shalom, shalom.